China's a fuming mess at the moment.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
If you are keeping track of their foreign press and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and all that kind of stuff, it is insane.
Yeah.
But as kind of a counter to their tantrums they're throwing all the time, they've now upped the ante on their side to bring in a bunch of foreign dignitaries and so on to try and combat and take eyes off of what's going on.
That's right.
And let's start out with France. I mean, the whole title of this particular video is talking about France surrendering to China, and there's a reason for that.
Yes.
Let's talk about what's going on over here in the background. Maybe you can explain this. This is your segment, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to play this, and it's what's going on.
This is in Guangzhou. And Guangzhou is a massive city, one of the 4 first-tier cities of China. Macron, the leader of France, looks very short in this clip, by the way.
Do you ever think about those macarons or whatever?
That's all I think about when I hear his name is Macron.
Isn't that French as well?
It's like a French spelling.
There's like colorful little
Macron.
Yeah. Those little cookie things or whatever.
They're delicious. They're made out of almond flour, and they are so decadent and chewy and delicious. A little crispy too. But so Cookie over here, he is loving it. And by the way, I want to have this little commentary here. You see how he's shaking hands with all the students and stuff?
Yeah.
That's nice. But
it's nice.
What I do think, I see his face. He's enjoying it a little too much.
Okay.
And what I like about Western democracies is that oftentimes politicians will be the wrong kind of person. The kind of person that wants power, the kind of person that wants respect, right? But checks and balances and all of these efforts to kind of reduce the power of people in power is what creates a good democracy, right? It makes him not a dictator. Right. But he's loving the dictator. I feel like he's loving the dictator status right now because you're walking around, you're getting all this praise because in China, as someone in government, you are a dictator, right?
You're a rock star.
You're a rock star, right? So here he's getting
basically he's getting the rock star treatment,
and he's loving it. Look at it, he's loving it. He is loving it because I bet in France they'd be throwing eggs and shit at him.
You think so?
French. A lot of French people hate him, right?
Okay, yeah, that's true. At least half of them, right?
At least half, yeah.
At least, that's how democracies work,
Yes, exactly. We're supposed to hate our leaders.
Yeah, you're supposed to have half that really don't like a person, the other half like him.
So here they are, still chilling with masks, I see. Interesting.
Except for Xi Jinping. Because he doesn't need it. Yeah. I mean, isn't that just pathetic?
It's fricked up.
No, it's like, come on, guys.
It's ridiculous.
Everyone there has to wear a mask, except for him.
What a pompous...
I mean, isn't that just like rules for thee, but not for me bullshit, eh?
Can you make a pork joke somewhere in there?
I'll get the pork in later. Don't worry. Yeah.
Anyway, so they're here to have a meeting, and I wanted to bring this up. There is no reason, and I might get a little pushback from this, but there is no reason anyone should be meeting with China right now in the free world. Sure. There's nothing to discuss. China has clearly, over and over again, if we're bringing up the Ukraine situation, taken Russia's side on the whole thing, and basically now telling people to back off. Right. Don't escalate this any further in an effort to promote Russia. Right? If we tick that box,
maybe Xi Jinping got the flag mixed up because they're kind of similar, and he was like, "Oh, it's our Russian friends again." Then French people turn up. It's like, "What?"
It's like, "What? This guy looks very different. This guy has more hair."
It's like, what's happening?
He didn't come shirtless on a horse.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, long story short, it kind of surprised me to see France buck the system and pull at Germany and be like, "Here, let's go discuss climate change and all these other things." Right? By the way, I just want to throw this in there. You're not supposed to look at the at all the soldiers and stuff when you're walking down this line, dictator style. You're supposed to look straight ahead.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's not a dictator, so
that's what I'm saying. Dictator style. You look at Xi Jinping, looking straight down the barrel, right? He's too important to look at his what is it? His peons.
Yeah, peons is the right word. Yeah,
but I caught Macron kind of ogling these chicks over here.
I mean, I would.
Hey, they're very good looking girls.
Yeah, I mean, look, here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with diplomacy, and it's good to maintain good diplomacy with different countries. China's a bit of a bad actor at the moment, and this is not the right way, because what he's doing is he's encouraging China's bad behavior.
That's the problem.
By visiting. And they're talking about strengthening military cooperation and things like that, which is not what you do with a country that's like China with the aggression and all the nonsense they're doing at the moment.
I don't know where this military cooperation thing's coming in, but at least what I got was they're talking about business cooperation.
No, they talked about military cooperation too.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know how that would work.
I'll look it up quickly.
Because it's a NATO power. Anyway, business, climate, biodiversity, and food security, right? So these things, and I included this tweet. I don't know who this person is, but I thought it was a very interesting reply because it was very apt. It said, not a word about Uyghur genocide. China's currently committing the Uyghur genocide in Western China with over 1 million ethnic Uyghurs in concentration camps. Tibet occupation, still massive, huge issue that they've basically reduced Tibet into a police state that rivals North Korea, except with more technology.
Yeah.
The Hong Kong crackdown, where they deleted all of the democratic status of Hong Kong and created the national security law, effectively making it a police vassal state of Beijing.
Yep.
Terrorizing Taiwan. How many threats have we had just this year and incursions into Taiwanese territory, threatening to take it over by force by the top leadership?
Yep.
Falun Gong persecution, of course, all of the religious kind of things that they crack down on, of course, religious freedom in general. Concentration camps, organ harvesting, political prisoners, and how China is causing a third of all global CO2 emissions. In fact, China, just to let you bring you up to speed, China has now increased their CO2 output immeasurably because 6 times the coal output has been added to China's future. While the rest of the world is signing climate agreements, China continues to add CO2 and add coal plants. They add dirty coal plants. And then they look at the rest of the world and say, please bow to us. We are the leaders in this global revolution for green technology. And it boggles the mind because you have global leaders and huge organizations that are lining up to say, yes, China, you are leading the world in green tech, in reducing CO2 emissions while they increase them.
Yeah.
And it cheapens the whole movement. It cheapens the whole environmental movement and all these agreements that these countries sign. And it cheapens the whole thing when you have a global leader of the free world like Macron going to talk about CO2 emissions with a country that adds them.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Well, here it is. Guangzhou, France and China have reached an agreement to work together to deepen military dialogue at a time of heightened tensions between Beijing and the West.
Yeah, military, it's about Ukraine.
Yeah.
It's not obviously not military cooperation.
Yeah, well, I got that wrong, but I meant deepen military dialogue, deepen aerospace, cooperations, all these different things. Basically, what they're saying is they're going to be deepening all these ties. And that's not the message you want to send out to China right now.
Absolutely.
Especially France being part of the Western, system over there.
Yeah.
It's an inroad for China into everything. It's not good at all.
No.
To be pushing this kind of thing.
It's weak and it's stupid and it's unnecessary. I mean, China is everything he brought up here. China has broken not historically, now is breaking currently.
Yeah.
So you don't go, I'm gonna go talk to a global leader about things that they're currently doing wrong, and then look to them like the example of how to do it right.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I mean, here in the South China Morning Post, the headline is France's Macron ends trip to China with pact to bolster business, military ties.
That doesn't make sense.
Well, that's
literally doesn't make sense.
But the joint statement with Xi Jinping does not include a commitment from Beijing to use its influence to end Russia's war on Ukraine. So that's one thing that failed. Macron,
that was the point, right?
Yeah, Macron did ask Beijing. He said he trusts that China will help Russia see the light, basically.
Right.
And China's like, go away.
Yeah.
That's basically what they said.
That's basically what happened.
Yeah.
This was a mad kowtow moment, by the way. That's what I saw it as. You don't talk to... It's like going to Hitler's Germany during Hitler's rule and saying, let's cooperate and work on all these things that you're doing really well. That's what it came off as.
On the military front, the pair agreed to deepen exchanges between the Chinese People's Liberation Army's Southern Theater, which has jurisdiction over the South China Sea, and French units in the Asia Pacific. So there is...
it's
military
about de-escalation and the de-escalation.
Yeah, but I mean, there is military agreement going on, is what I'm saying here.
Yeah,
there's military cooperation, deepening ties as far as that's concerned.
I understand. I get you.
So, just wanted to clear that up.
Yeah, it's not like it makes it sound like originally you made it sound like they're going to be having like drills to go fight the U.S.
Sure,
You
that's what.
Anyway,
we're not here to disinform or misinform anyone. I wanted to make it clear.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's going on with his tweet in Chinese?
Same tweet in Chinese. And again, I thought this was really poor taste because what are you doing validating all of these statements that you made in English, right? In Chinese in a separate tweet. This isn't a translated tweet. This is a separate tweet, right?
Well, I'll ask you this question. Did Xi Jinping release a tweet in French for the French people?
No, he did not.
Did he?
No.
Yeah. No, because
I mean, the foreign ministry releases different language media, right?
yeah, but Xi Jinping didn't
Xi
release
Jinping
something.
didn't do it personally. This is personal.
Yeah, it's personal, and that's because Xi Jinping's not out to lick the boots of France.
I mean,
the other way around, it seems.
If you look at the interaction, it was literally China just walking all over this scenario. It was a kowtow. They went to China. It was a big kowtow.
Yeah, it sucks. It's not good. It doesn't set a good precedent. And we're just going to have to see where this all ends up. But it's disappointing to say the least, because take a look at what's going on here. We've got the People's Daily. I'll get us out of there. She holds talks with French president. And we all know the People's Daily is where you just see Xi Jinping everywhere, right?
She in my eyes.
Yeah,
Get the Xi out of my eyes.
exactly. Xi Jinping, I will fully commit to the people and never fail them. Okay?
I love that.
Yeah, it's like Xi Jinping at the top banner. That's there all the time. People.com. And this is Xi Jinping with, Macron, etc., etc. It's a big win for China.
I'm not gonna get all like feminist or weird or anything like this, right? I'm gonna.
Yeah, you already are.
This guy's like, absolutely not. You can't say no to me.
Yeah.
That didn't work. So what does he do?
Goes and gets a Chanel bag.
It's a Chanel bag, right? Oh, I bought you this bag.
I mean, at the end of the day, like, you don't buy people. That's not how things work. You can't buy a relationship.
No. Oh, look at this dude. Comes in.
It just comes in like waxing.
Yeah. So he has a tantrum, and he's like, I don't think chicks like that. You know what I mean? I'm totally honest. I don't think chicks
You're not
like
gonna annoy them into a relationship. Yeah, you're gonna,
love me.
When I take a breath, you fill up my life.